From time to time, people call up and ask me what the difference between a Katmai and a Kenai is and which airplane would be best suited for them. And it's really a fairly simple answer. They're two specially built airplanes, but for different purposes. The King Katmai and the Kenai are separated only by the fact the Katmai has a 3-foot longer wingspan. They both can use either set of tires. So consequently, on the Katmai, we've got a 3-foot longer wingspan versus the Kenai with a standard 182 wingspan. Now that 3-foot longer wingspan on the Katmai translates to a reduction in stall speed of about 4 knots over and above what the Kenai has. And that 4-knot reduction in stall speed translates to a takeoff and landing distance reduction of about 60 feet. Now, how important is 60 feet? Well, if you're flying in and out of a strip that's 1,800, 2,000 feet long, 1,500 feet long, I mean, 60 feet doesn't make any difference, doesn't mean anything. On the other hand, if you're flying out of a strip that's 300, 400, 500 foot long, 60 feet means a lot. So it kind of depends on your ultimate goal and what you want to do with the airplane as to which one's best. The Katmai is a specially built airplane for backcountry flying, yet the cross-country performance is still very, very good. The Kenai just flips it. The Kenai is excellent cross-country performance, super efficient, very safe, with excellent short field takeoff technique. So consequently, it depends on which way you want to go. Now the Katmai, even in cross-country cruise, is still very efficient. With the big bush wheels on there, 29-inch bush wheels, and the IL-550 engine, it'll fly as fast as a stock 182 on the same fuel burn. So the cross-country efficiency really isn't lost. The stock Skylane that we start with wheel pants and small tires, normally cruises about 130, 35 knots and about 13 gallons an hour. A Katmai Lena Peak will do 132, 34 knots on 12.5 to 13 gallons an hour, say at 7,500 feet in Lena Peak. So consequently, you don't lose any of the cross-country performance with a King Katmai that a stock 182 with wheel pants has, which is amazing given the size of the tires and the motor. Yet it's still a specially built airplane for the backcountry. The Kenai is a faster airplane because, of course, it's got smaller tires and wheel pants. So the Kenai is going to be cruising 156 knots, somewhere in there, Ritchie Peak, 153, 4 knots, Lena Peak. But it still has excellent short field performance within 60 feet of a King Katmai. So it kind of depends on where the emphasis is, if you're going to be doing more cross-country flying or more backcountry flying. And I've always found that if a person gets an airplane that suits him, 80% of the time he's happy. You know, 20% of the time you're going to wish your airplane was bigger, smaller, faster, slower, something. But if it fits 80% of your needs, you're happy. It's the same way with these. If your primary goal is flying the backcountry, it's a Katmai all the way. If you're looking more at cross-country, but yet say you want to stick a set of bush wheels on a Kenai and go fly the backcountry in the summertime, you can do that. And you can go in and out of a ton of strips. So it kind of depends on where the emphasis is. Now, I've had 1 or 2 people ask me, well, you know, why don't you just put small tires on a King Katmai? And we've done that in the past. The issue with that is when we put the 3-foot longer wingspan on, when we extend the wings 3 feet, the V&E, the red line, is reduced from 179 knots indicated to 153 knots indicated. Well, the King Katmai with small tires and a speed kit at low altitude with a heavy percent of power will indicate within about 10 to 12 knots of the red line speed, of that lower red line speed. And that's just not enough of a margin. So when we saw that, I thought, okay, for the guys that want the small tires, obviously they're not going to do really hardcore backcountry flying. And I thought it would be better if we came out with a new model with a standard wing, the higher V&E, so we would have a much bigger safety margin between the indicated cruise speed and the red line on airspeed. So that's kind of where the Kenai came from. Now also, in the past, we've built hundreds of 260 SEs. Same airplane as the Kenai, except instead of the IL-550, it has a 260 horse IL-470. Excellent engine. And we've got a ton of them out there. So if you've got a 260 SE or you buy a 260 SE, at any time it can be upgraded to a Kenai with the addition of an IL-550 engine, or it can be upgraded to a King Katmai with the addition of the IL-550 engine and the 3-foot longer wingspan. So all these airplanes within the family can be changed into any other airplanes. You have a Kenai, at some point you want to make a Katmai out of it, you can do that. Big thing is to get an airplane that suits the majority of your flying. All these airplanes do what they do very well. You make the right decision in which category you're going to go to, you'll be happy forever. Take care.